Black is just a color. So we're going to show you who you are according to the Bible. Read Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. So according to the Bible, what's your father? Your father would be African American, right?
Yeah.
So you, according to the Bible, on this side is what God calls us. On this side is what we got from a slave master doing slavery. So we're going to show you how we know that you are an Israelite according to the Bible. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
God said, if you don't listen to my commandments, right? Read.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
God said, if you don't listen to my commandments, all these curses would come upon you and overtake you. Is a curse is a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing, right?
I mean, it depends. It could be bad or good.
Give me an example. How can a curse be good?
All right, for instance, right now, I mean, my car's broke down, right? And I ain't know my tire rod was messed up. So that's a good thing. Like, God told me to have to go checked out. If I didn't have to get checked out, you know, I would have been messed up right now. You know what I'm saying?
But you still messed up because you said your car is broke. A curse can never be a good thing. A curse is always a bad thing.
Good. It could have turned.
It could have turned worse.
It's a good thing because I didn't know what that jiggling noise was. If I kept on driving on it, my tire rod would have broke on me.
Okay, I got you. But we're gonna show you what God means by curses, right? Read verse 16. Read.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
It says, "Cursed shall you be in a city." How can you be cursed in a city? You live in the what? Worst condition. Wherever you go around the world, whether it's Jamaica, Haiti, America, you always find a ghetto. And guess who you find in the ghettos? What people do you find in the ghettos? Majority. That's a curse. God said, if the Israelites, which you are, wouldn't listen to my commandments, I would put them and I would put a curse on them in the city. Meaning what? You live in the ghettos in the city. Back then, during slavery, what were we doing in the cities? We were being sold on market streets, right?
Yeah.
That's a curse God placed on us. Read.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
And God said, cursed shall you be in the field. Now, who's the first fired and last hired? What people? That's us. That's a curse. God said, if you don't obey me, you will be cursed in the field. Now, literally, and slavery, if you look at right here, what were we doing in the field?
Yeah, picking cotton.
Picking cotton. That's a curse. God said, for my people, if you don't listen to me and obey, I would put a curse on you, right?
Yeah.
So today, now we have to break our backs, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, first fired and last hired. My sister, come talk to me for a second over there. Come, I have a question for you. Don't leave that. Don't run away. All right, I got you. Give me verse 46. Now, let's see if those curses in the Bible. Remember, this was written what? Thousands of years ago, right? And those curses are happening today. That's how we can prove to our people that they are the children of Israel. Back when Moses was speaking to. Read.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
Now it says they. The they is the curses. It says the curses would be on the children of Israel because they didn't want to obey my laws for a sign. What does a sign do? For you to know that's what that star is. There's a sign that says it, right? Yeah. So a sign does what? It identifies something. The same way God said the curses that I'm gonna place on the Israelites would be for a sign. Read.
And for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
It would be on their children forever, until we repent and start keeping God's laws. Because the reason those curses happen to us is because what? We didn't obey God's laws. Now it says the curse is gonna be upon our seed. Now, do you have children? No, but when you do have children, right? Do you think your children gonna be going to the first fired, last hired curse? Yes, because as a majority are living in the ghetto. Some of us might live good, but as a people, as a whole, guess what our people are? In the ghettos. The same thing that happens to you, guess what? Your kids will inherit that same curse. Give me verse 32. This is why it's important for you to know who you are, so that you can know what you must do to get away from those curses. Read.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
It says your sons and your daughters shall be given unto another people, right? So, let me ask you this. What do you think that means?
I mean, it's hot, man.
I got you. I got you.
Blood pressure's high, man.
I got you. It says your sons and your daughter shall be giving unto another people. If you look at this sign right here, right?
Yeah, man.
What were we doing during slavery? The slave masters will take our foremothers' children, right, and give them to another race of people, to their own kind. That's a curse. God said, if the children of Israel do not listen, I will put this curse where, like, their kids will be given to another race of people. Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
And your eyes would look, but you wouldn't have any power for you to get your children back. That's a curse. Now bring it back to today in 2022, right? Are those kids from the border of Mexico? That's how you know the Hispanics, Native American, and blacks are the same people. And the border of Mexico, what happened to those children? Some of them, they can't even find their parents. That's a curse that's still happening today. Let's bring it back to the blacks today. If you don't raise your kid according to this society, what will happen? CPS, Child Protective Status. That's a curse. God said would put, because that's your child, but then if you don't raise them according to the white man's society, guess what? They have the power to take your kids and you can't do nothing about it. Right? Give me verse 37. It gets worse. Read.
Verse 37. And doubt shall become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword.
It says you would become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. And astonishment is something, for example, right? Doing the George Floyd, when that event, right? People were protesting. Guess what they were doing? They were looting stores. What does looting have to do with, marching with George Floyd death? Nothing. How you doing, my sister? What's your name?
Tanya.
Tanya. You can come under the sun. We have the canopy for you. So,
I'm not appropriate.
okay, Tanya. What's your name again, my brother? Kato and Tanya. Tanya, I asked Kato earlier what's his nationality. He said he was black. What's your nationality?
I'm multicultural.
You're multicultural.
Yes.
There is no... Okay, that's not a nationality. Multicultural is not...
I know that's not a nationality, sir. I didn't want to put a label on myself. I am who I am.
My blood pressure's high.
You said what? You are?
I am who I am.
You're who I am, but...
I have no
brother,
control
I
of
got
what
both.
my ancestors do, but according to the books, I'm black.
According to the books, you're black. Black, like your t-shirt is black. Black is a color in a crayon box. That's not a nationality.
Okay, so now that's why I didn't want to state my nationality, because I knew you had that comeback. See, I'm higher than what you're thinking.
I'm not having a comeback. I mean, we're here to teach our people who they are according to the Bible. According to the Bible, my sister, you are an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. That's your nationality. This right here is what God gave us and called us. This here is what black, African American, Jamaican, Haitian, whatever term we got, guess when we got them? During slavery. When we got, give me Jeremiah 17:4. When we got to slavery, guess what? They stripped us from our heritage. Because you said earlier you're multicultural. We don't even know who our true culture is. Because no, we don't. I'm going to prove it to you. Read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
God said, even you, Israel, blacks, Hispanic, and Native American, you would be discontinued from your heritage. Right? Read.
That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
And it says, you would serve your enemies from the land which thou knowest not. Did our forefathers know this land? The blacks that got here on slave ships?
Yes.
No, they didn't know this land. Because they was all the way where? And in the Eastern Hemisphere, and they got brought here to the Western Hemisphere on slave ships.
Right.
They didn't know that, that's where God said, because you don't want to keep my laws, I'm going to bring you to another land, which is America today, and you're going to serve your enemies. Are we serving our enemies today? Because I asked you a question earlier. I asked you, what is our heritage? Because you said you're multicultural. And I said, we don't know. And you said, yes, we do. So
We do.
what is our culture? What is our heritage? Yeah, your
Our
heritage.
heritage?
Yes.
Canadian, Native American, African American, and Irish.
Now, all these that you said Native American. The white men give that name, Native American. They were not called Native American. Their true name were called Gadites. They were the tribe of Gad, Israelite according to the Bible. When the white men conquered them, they placed Native American on them, right? Now you said African American. How can you be from two white men? Africa was renamed Africa after Leo Scipio Africanus conquered Hannibal during the Second Punic War. That's one white man. Now, America was named after Amerigo Vespucci. That's an Italian navigator. Can two white men make a baby? Matter of fact, can two white people make black people? No, it's impossible because they have a recessive genes. That's impossible. So how can you be African?
I'm not dressed.
How can you be African American when you cannot come out of two white men? That's why I told you, my sister, are from the tribe of Judah and Israelite. That's not your culture, your heritage. Now let's see what our heritage is according to the Bible. Because remember, God put us on this curse because we refused to listen to him. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 11.
Read.
Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for heritage.
You hear that? What did God said he gave for a heritage? Read it again.
The law of life for an inheritance.
What did God give for a heritage?
God give us our heritage.
Yes. Read it again.
Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for heritage.
Did you catch that, my sister?
I did catch that, but I want to put this to you.
What you got, sister? What you saying?
There was a lot of conspiracy to different governments to divide the nations.
Give me Psalms 83. You're right. Guess what? They all came together to make sure we blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans stay destroyed. That's what they did. They didn't conspire against each other. They conspired against the Israelite. And God will mention that. And you're going to see. The reason we, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't know that we are the Israelites from the tribe of Judah, Levi, Benjamin, or Ephraim, the reason we don't know that is because what? They conspired with each other to make sure our name, us knowing that we Israel, is no longer available. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, against the Israelite. Crafty counsel means something very secretive. Read.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And it says, and consulted against thy hidden. Who's the hidden ones? That's us. Because we're the one that don't even know our true nationality. We go by terms that was given to us under slavery.
Right.
And we still use those terms today. Read.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
You hear that? It says, come, those nations say, come, let us cut them from being a nation. From them knowing that they are the Israelites, who now they think they're separate people. They think they're African American. They think they're Haitian. And I'm telling you this right now. Haitians, Jamaicans, African American, they don't think they're the same people. But they are the same people, the children of Israel. But the white men have convinced them, and the other nation, the Arabs, all of them have convinced them that they are a separate group of people. When the Bible calls us the children of Israel, we are the same people. Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
You hear that? It says, the reason for them to do that is that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Now, if you ask anybody, like, nobody knows who the real Israelites are. That's why we are here to show you that you, my sister, are a real Jew. Right. You are a true Israelite. Now, you might think people in Israel today are the people, but guess what? They don't call themselves Israelites. They call themselves Israelis. That's a big difference. When the ITE is telling you you come from that lineage, they don't believe that. The Jewish people, those are not the real Jews. That's why they call themselves Jewish. If I tell you I'm coming to your house 5-ish, am I coming exactly at 5? or somewhere around that?
Not really.
So not really. So the people that call themselves Jews that living in your homeland, yes, that's your homeland. Guess what? They call themselves Jewish because they're somewhat of Jews, but they're not really the real Jews.
Right.
They're literally telling you that in their name. Go back to what I had you holding. Read. No, go back to Psalms. Come on, man. Psalms. So the people over there are not the real Jews. Now we're going to name some of the enemies that came together and did what? And separate and make sure we don't remember our names. Read.
4, they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Now it says they are confederate against thee. Who had the Confederate flag? That's America. They made a confederation to erase the Israelites from remembrance. Now it's going to name the nations that did that. And I'm going to show you who did that. Read.
The tabernacles of Edom.
That's your white man. The tabernacle of Edom is your so-called white man. Their biblical name is Edom, the Edomites. Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites. That's the biblical name for the Arabs. Ishmael was their forefather. That's their name.
Right.
Edom, Esau was the white man's father. That's their nation, nationality according to the Bible. Read.
Of Moab.
Of Moab. That's the so-called Chinese today. Because they also came together to make sure we don't remember who we are. Because guess what? They also had us in slavery.
Right.
We, go ahead.
Brothers, I do have to end this session. I have to go
Sis.
home and get dressed and get ready for work.
Sis, I got you, but do you know who you are according to the Bible now?
I'm confident in who I am.
So who are you according to? After all we've been through, go back to Deuteronomy 28. So what's your nationality according to the Bible, knowing that African American, Native American is the slave term? Go ahead, sis.
There's no disrespect to any religion or any belief. I have my belief. I know where I came from, especially my bloodline. I do know where I come from.
Can I ask you about where you come from?
Where I come from?
Yeah, where do you come from? Because you said you know.
I just told you.
Where?
Canada.
Uh-huh.
Argentina.
Uh-huh.
Ireland and Africa.
Give me Isaiah 1 and 3. And Africa. You name. Go ahead.
You have to listen.
I'm listening to you, sis.
Because I have to go to work, but I want to carry that to you because I did
Got
my
it.
own research according to my blood.
But
I
according,
will never
guess what?
forget what my blood is.
DNA cannot help you because you cannot get DNA from 100 years ago for that to work. That's a false science.
Right.
Now read.
The book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knows his owner.
God said the ox, which is a dumb animal, it knows his owner. Read.
And the ass his master's crib.
And the dumbass, the donkey, he knows his master crib. You can put him wherever you want. He will find his master back, his master crib back. Read.
But Israel doeth not know.
But Israel, which you are, my sister, you don't know because you named multiple countries. I asked you what's your nationality. You name countries.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.